and welcome back to the Izzy and Alex Show, the podcast where we talk lots of shit about lots of different topics. This week, we are going to be talking about things that you didn't know from your favourite Hollywood films. So we picked two films that we're going to dive into. And yeah, one of them is going to be Grease, and the other one is going to be The Wizard of Oz. So that's what we've got planned today. And yeah, I'm really excited about this one.
I'm excited too. I think this is going to be really interesting because neither of us knew this stuff before, and there are some kind of small facts or theories, because I don't know for sure if they're facts, but they are on quite reliable sources. But some of them are a lot darker, dark things, and it's making me oh my god, when I next watch this film, am I going to be able to look at it the same?
Literally, there were some really shocking things, I thought.
Literally, and these are two such childhood films, such famous films. I loved Wizard of Oz and Grease.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're just gonna dive straight in now.
Absolutely, let's do this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start with Wizard of Oz. This was literally my favorite film as a kid. So when I saw these facts, I was like, oh my goodness, what? My whole childhood is ruined. But some of them aren't too bad.
Gosh.
But some are darker. I'm gonna just start off with some nicer one. Judy Garland had to wear a corset in order to appear more like a child for her role as Dorothy, because she was actually 16 at the time. But then,
oh really?
But do you think she looks 16 in the film?
No, I think they dress her quite adult.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
I think she has quite a young face. I don't know. I thought that was quite an interesting one, because I never really thought.
Yeah.
What age is Dorothy meant to be? But yeah, apparently also not the silver slippers. The red slippers were originally meant to be silver.
Oh.
But I feel like that,
because that's so iconic now, isn't it?
Yeah, because the iconic thing is the ruby slippers. So it's so weird to think that could have been completely changed to silver.
Yeah, that's so random.
Yeah, it's so weird. But now we're going to move on to some quite dark facts. This is more of a rumor. It's quite dark, so if you find talking about dark things quite triggering, then probably wouldn't listen to this. But anyway, I thought I would just share it because it's interesting, but it's a rumor. It's rumored that one of the Munchkins committed suicide by hanging, and the body can be seen swinging in the background during one of the scenes in the movie.
So he committed suicide in the movie?
That's what this is saying.
Oh
Many dismiss it, though, it says, and blaming the odd shadow on a bird, so that people just think it's a shadow, since there were several wild animals on loan from the Los Angeles Zoo to create a realistic setting in the film. So that's more of a theory rather than fact. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think it's been confirmed by the producers and stuff. Yeah. And some other really dark facts as well is that apparently Judy Garland was sexually abused by a lot of the people that played the Munchkins.
No.
And was treated horribly. People would call her names, and they would just treat her because obviously it was filmed a very, very long time ago. Let's remember. It was filmed a very, very long time ago, so I don't think women. I don't know if this what it was like in the film industry, but maybe women on set, or not even just, maybe actors just weren't treated well on set in those days.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's shocking.
So I really don't. That was really, really interesting to think. How did she, if she was treated so badly, how did she just kind of carry on and especially if actually abuse? and just like
Yeah.
carry
So that's
on.
really, yeah,
It's
that's mad.
crazy. And there are some other ones from the other cast that were treated badly as well. Some of like the costumes. There's some really interesting facts about like the costumes and like the stunts, how they did like the stunts and stuff. Like the guy who plays the Cowardly Lion, his name is Bert Lahr. I probably pronounced that wrong. It weighed almost 100 pounds, which is quite a lot.
Oh God. And to act with that as well,
Yeah,
like,
like I don't know how he just walks around in that.
yeah.
And apparently it was always like really, really, really hot on set. Like, like I can't remember how many degrees, but it was like the amount. And it was like it was really hard for them to just carry on and act because they were in all these costumes, all the lights. Apparently they had like so many lights on set, and it just made it was like extremely hot.
Oh my God.
And there's a lot of other things about the costumes as well, and the stunts that they did. Apparently, they had a guy that was going to play the Tin Man, and
Yeah.
apparently he almost died because of like the face paint that they put on him, so they had to cast someone else.
Oh my God. So what was in the face paint then? Was it just
Really
like
damn
some?
like so they used really damn for some of the costumes, and like so the face paint he had on like his body as well was like really damaging.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Like, I guess when was it made? I feel like it was like the 40s,
yeah.
maybe. Like it's crazy to like think that like they just like the complete like the neglect that they had to
Mm.
their actors is just like so shocking.
And it happened to the witch as well. Apparently, she suffered like really bad burns from when they filmed that scene where she melted. You know, when they chuck the water at her and it's like the steam and
Yeah.
stuff. Apparently, she suffered really awful burns, but she had to do it like multiple times.
Oh
So
my
literally, blood,
gosh.
sweat, and tears went into making this movie.
Literally, I can't believe that someone nearly died.
Literally, and like the main character was literally like sexually abused, and yeah, it's
That's really
yeah, and I
shocking.
just
No, I don't think I can watch it the same
mm,
way. Like, oh
it's
my gosh.
crazy. And I first found out these facts when I watched this girl. I can't remember her actual TikTok name, but I will credit her in the description. I'll put her
Yeah.
apps, and she does a lot of these TikToks where she'll be like, facts you didn't know about this film. So this is when I first discovered all these, and then I've looked into more on the internet. So I just want to give credits to them because I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, because that's how we came up with that idea, actually, that girl that's on TikTok. So thank you. We'll definitely credit you in the
Yeah,
description.
and check out all the other TikToks she does in this because that was like that literally came on my For You page and I was like, what?
Yeah, it's like I love stuff like this. I love the sort of like behind the scenes like gossip.
It's crazy.
So I hope that
Yeah, and then,
yeah, I hope that
yeah, it's crazy. And then there was some other like light-hearted facts like apparent like about the audition and stuff. Like they auditioned like multiple dogs for Toto and stuff and things like that. So that's quite interesting.
oh imagine being there on that day when all the little dogs are
Yeah,
there. That'd be so cute.
literally. Oh.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I think that's all the most interesting facts because there's about 50. But
Yeah.
those were the ones that I found the most like I guess shocking and interesting. So what's your
Mhm.
opinion on all that?
But I'm so shocked that someone like nearly
Mm,
died. Because obviously I'm doing
yeah,
Greece. It's in the 1970s that it was filmed. So obviously there was like 30 years. So like I've not had anyone that's like died. So that
literally.
was like the most, yeah, that's quite
Yeah,
shocking.
but it's interesting. I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
gonna be able to watch it the same.
no, definitely not. No, that was so interesting. Oh my gosh.
So fill me in on all the tea about Greece.
So the first, obviously, we know that Greece are the characters are teenagers in their senior year of high school.
Yeah.
But actually, most of the actors and the actresses they were much older.
Yeah.
For example, Olivia Newton-John, who she played Sandy, she was 28 at the
Really? She was only
time.
30.
Um, yeah, so she was actually 5 years older than Danny, like John Travolta, because he was only 23. But none of them were actually like high school age, which is like crazy to think about because they all like looked like high school students. So I think high school in America is like 18, and like none of them were like they were all older than
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
18. Um, and the most surprising one was Rizzo. She was actually the actress that played Rizzo, Stockyard Channing. She was actually 33 years
No
old.
way. But they all play teenagers really well. Like, I totally believed that they were all teenagers.
Yeah, and actually, the lady that played Jan, one of the Peak ladies,
Yeah.
she was 30, but she was actually already having like grey
Yeah.
hairs. So she had to, so every day they had to colour her hair with like black dye, like before, like, just like spray
Yeah.
dye every day before set, which was like mad.
Mad.
Like, you just wouldn't be able to
No.
tell. Yeah, I thought that was really, like weird. Yeah, another quite popular one, the popular scene at the end of the film when Sandy has her transformation, and I think
Oh,
everyone,
the
like all the gays, the girls, were like, I want to be her. Like, you even did her as
Oh,
Halloween, didn't
yeah,
you?
with the black outfit.
The black outfit, when she transforms into sexy
Yeah,
Sandy,
that's
you're the one
iconic.
back. Well, actually, that scene only took a day to film.
Really?
Yeah, so there was some scenes like the school, the
Yeah,
hand
yeah.
drive, that took a week to film.
Really?
So like they did the hand drive for a week, whereas You're the One That I Want, they wanted it to be more like, flow
That's the
like
thing, it's
better.
not
So it
very
was
edited, that
only
that scene. Like, the camera kind of follows them, from what I remember. It's done in one take.
exactly. So it literally only lasted a day.
Crazy.
But having said that, the pants that she
Mm.
wore in that scene, the iconic black leather sort of pants, had to actually be sewn onto
To be
her.
fair, she's a very small person, isn't she? So they had to literally sew her
It
in,
had to like cut her
like
out,
sew her in it.
yeah, to make it more tight, which I thought was like crazy. Like, how is
Yeah,
she
that's the thing. Was
dancing?
that comfortable? Like, how is she comfortable?
I don't think she
Like,
was.
what are these films? Are these films suggesting that, like, back in the day, like, if you were an actor and you weren't comfortable, it didn't matter?
Definitely, it definitely seems that it really didn't
Yeah.
matter. Yeah, and yeah, she wasn't allowed to go to the bathroom for the
Oh my
entire
god.
day, and she had to be like really careful about what she ate and drank for that
Really?
day when she had
Oh
to
my
wear them.
god. It's crazy. Like, the lengths. Like, creds to actors. Like, the lengths that they'll go to, like, just for like a role. Like, because there's so many more like facts
Yeah,
about this kind of thing. About actors that like didn't eat because they had to be really thin for this role, like things like that. It's crazy.
literally, it's so mad. And also, this one's quite tragic. So, Grease actually came from a musical first. So the musical came out before the film, and quite a lot of the actors in the film were originally from the musical. So, for example, Jeff Conway played Danny Zuko, and in the musical, and Jeff Conway actually played um, Kaneki in the film, and John Travolta played Doody in the musical.
Mad. So it all kind of
Yeah,
in the
yeah. So it kind of like switched around,
yeah.
but sadly, So Grease Lightning in the musical is originally sung by Kaniki, who was played by Jeff Conaway.
Yeah.
So obviously, but John Travolta wanted it so badly that he demanded that it was sung by Danny.
Really?
So obviously, Kaniki is actually meant to be a massive, massive part, but in the film it's not. So Jeff was like really depressed because of this. And actually, in the film, um, during Grease Lightning, he sustained an injury.
Really?
Um, yes, he was accidentally dropped by his fellow cast member, so that's Kinnicky. So obviously he was really depressed because that was meant to be his big
Yeah.
moment, and yeah, and this led to him seriously hurting his back, and he turned to a prescription of painkillers, and basically he actually ended up having an addiction with painkillers, resulting in this because obviously he was depressed and on painkillers, and he actually ended up on celebrity rehab, and he never fully recovered from his addiction, and he overdosed at the age of 60. So that's quite sad. Like it sort of resulted in his like untimely death.
This is so crazy and dark. Oh my god.
Literally, like you would never sort of like suspect that.
What?
But yeah, that was like the darkest that I found. Another one is this is just quite like I know like did you watch Grease when you were little?
Did I watch Grease when I was little? Yeah.
Yeah. Like and obviously this is I think this is quite an obvious one, but like when you watched it when you're older, were you surprised at how dirty it was? Like how like adult like how many adult like references?
To be fair, yeah, like it's not that PG. Like the
No,
humor,
and
especially the humor.
yeah, and also Marty at the one of the pink ladies at the dance, she was caught she caught Vince Fontaine, the presenter, slipping an aspirin into a coke at the dance, which is like a
Yeah.
drug. And like I remember watching that like older and like being like, what the hell? Yeah, so I guess that's not really that shocking, but it is a little bit because I think it's well known, but it's still shocking.
Because we were
Do you know what
kids
I mean?
when we watched it. Like when
Exactly. But to be fair, like I have watched that. Like I've watched it recently, and I was like, oh my god, it's so not like I'm surprised that we watched it.
Yeah, like my parents like put it on. Like I was able to watch it. Like it's
Mm,
not like we weren't allowed.
yeah. Also, this is quite shocking. So the cast wasn't the first choice for the movie. So I don't know. They're quite old names, so I didn't know all of them. So Henry Winkler, who I think he's been on Strictly a few. He don't think he was on Strictly, but he's always on It Takes Two. Actually, that's how I knew him. He was actually meant to play Danny. Carrie Fisher, who's from Star Wars, was actually offered the role of Sandy.
No.
She played Princess Leia, so Princess Leia was actually meant to be Sandy.
Yeah.
And this is the most controversial one. So the coach was actually going to be played by Harry Reams, and he was a porn star.
Yeah.
So protests kicked off, and he eventually got taken out of the picture. But he was fully ready to start being the coach. But obviously, because he was a porn star, they didn't want him in. But I thought that was quite crazy that they were going to have a porn star in it. A bit mad.
Crazy.
And then finally, there's actually a really weird thing that happened. So during the Look at Me, I'm Sandra Day. So the Pink Ladies were obviously having the famous slumber party at Frenchie's house, and Ringo sings "Look at Me, I'm Sandra Day" to make fun of Sandy. In the film version, Rizzo sings "Elvis, Elvis, let me be, keep that pelvis away from me," as she looks at a picture of Elvis. And the day that they filmed that, Elvis Presley was pronounced dead.
What?
Literally.
That's weird.
So
I reckon that's like a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, they had no idea that like yeah, they had no idea. And what makes it even stranger is that in the musical, they don't say Elvis. I can't remember who they do say, but I know that they in the musical they don't say Elvis. But the reason why they said Elvis because Elvis was actually meant to be in the
Yeah.
film. He was meant to play the teen angel in Beauty School Dropout.
Yeah.
But obviously, because he died, he never got to play that. But yeah, so that they actually like they changed it for the film because he was going to be in
Yeah.
it, which I find bad. And then he died on the day that they were filming
Yeah.
it in August the 16th, 1977.
That is
So
wild. I
yeah,
can't.
but yeah, and so that's the strangest one. But there's also like more little ones, like the Rizzo's hickeys were actually real. Like um, Kaniki actually had to give her real life hickeys, which I thought was a bit odd. But yeah, I think that's the last big one. So yeah, that's all that I found, and I found it quite shocking to be
Yeah,
honest.
I found them all really shocking. Like I never knew any of them, and some of them are quite a lot darker than I expected.
Yeah, I feel like The Wizard of Oz was more like the set's fault, and like the directors like really
Yeah,
neglected them because obviously it was a lot earlier, but also there was a lot of neglect, especially with the actor who played Kaniki. It seemed like that
yeah,
film really had a massive impact on his life and in such like a negative way.
yeah. I think if we've learned anything from like researching these two films, they are from both kind of from a long time ago. Well, from a long time ago. I think we've definitely learnt that in the film industry back then, actors were not treated how they would be treated now.
No, definitely not.
I'm pretty sure. I bet it's more different now, just because like I guess it's better times. But back then, they were clearly like neglected. It sounds like they were massively neglected.
Exactly. I was really shocked at some of them.
Yeah, so
Definitely.
I'm interested to see like if there was any other old films that have the same running theme of like actors being neglected and stuff, and like the costumes are the priority. Like, doesn't matter if they're uncomfortable. Um, because like the sexual abuse thing, that was mainly just the Wizard of Oz, but both of them kind of have a running theme. It's like the actors were massively mistreated. So like if you guys would like us to do this again, research more films and see if that like around this time, especially if that continues, if the running theme continues of actors being mistreated, then do let us know, because I'm intrigued to see if it was exactly like that back in those kind of days.
Yeah, definitely. And even like maybe more recent films to see if it like how much it has changed. That would be
Definitely,
quite
yeah.
interesting. Yeah,
I hope it
yeah,
it's awful. Like, yeah, I hope it has changed because it's pretty awful. Like, what some of the things that they had to go through.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. No, I've really enjoyed this episode though.
Same. I'd really like to make it into a series, so please say if you enjoyed it.
Yeah, because there's probably plenty more iconic films that we could research into. And if you want to see more, I reckon the TikTok account that I got the Wizard of Oz thing from, they've done like a lot more on other films, so they might have more information. And if you would like us to do another episode on all this as well, we can look into it further on the internet. Then do let us know, obviously, and check out all our social medias in the description as well. And I've also been putting in the description. I've been continuing to put Black Lives Matter resources just because I think it's helpful to put them in every episode, so like people can go to those resources if they are looking for things they can still do, because we
Yeah,
need to continue to do that.
definitely.
Yeah,
We need to make sure that it's not just a trend, so they're going to be in our descriptions for the foreseeable future, definitely.
yes, definitely. Yeah, I think that's a wrap.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for listening for today's episode. We'll be back next Friday, and I've been Izzy.
I've been Alex, and we'll
And we'll
see you
see
next
you.
week.
Yeah, see you next week. Bye.
Bye.